everybody? We are back for our second edition of Flights here on the Sota Pod. This time we're tackling the world of IPAs with a little bit of a twist.
That's right, because we've already tried all four of these, and we imagine most of you have too. And the biggest question for a lot of us, especially if you're enjoying 7th Avenue pizza during the next Wild, Gopher, hey, fucking state tourney game, you gotta know how it pairs, right? So we're gonna go through and break these down alongside pizza. And to go off of that, the topic for this week when we review each beer is going to be which Minnesota Wild player is most likely to enjoy that style of 7th Ave pizza. Just so all of you know, in case you're peasants like us and don't have any of the fancy pizza cooking apparatuses, the way, and I'm telling you, the best way to do it in your oven, 14 minutes at 425 degrees, then immediately switch it over to broil. It's kind of to each person's decision. I went 2 minutes on this bad boy. Look how beautiful it is. If you want it like that, beautiful. 2 minutes. You want less, go down, more go up. You're smart people. You got this. So let's jump in. Let's go. First beer here, folks, is Operation Co-Hopperation, something that Lupulin pumps out for a lot of their collaboration beers. And of course, featuring this one is none other than Falling Knife, who we wax poetically about on the regular. Isha, again, after diving into a little bit of pizza, what are we feeling here?
Oh man, fruity, refreshing, thick in the best possible way. Man, this is good.
I wouldn't even say thick, because I think I know what you're going for there. For me, it's almost more like a mouthfeel, kind of.
There's a lot going on.
It's not like a thin or like, not to say that it's not smooth, but it's just like you get a little extra something. It lingers a little bit in a good way.
It's not like stout thick, but like there's a lot.
Right.
There's a lot going on here, and it's refreshing. Don't get me wrong. Like you could crush this in the summer, you could crush this in the heat, but you could also crush it in the winter, like we're doing right now, and still acknowledge that there's a lot going on in this one.
And the beauty for me is that it's like tropical flavor,
yes,
but it's
tropical.
not smacking you with the fruit. Because some people like don't want it to be like overly fruity, and for me, this is like kind of a really dull tropical in a good way, and it just like really easy drinker. It's a good accompaniment here to pizza, which the pizza we're leading off with, Isha, if you want to display, we have the 7 a.m.
Ooh.
That's right, the breakfast pizza of 7th Avenue Pizza.
That this guy is responsible for getting made.
I'll accept some credit, definitely not all credit, but incredible pizza, pairs greatly with an incredible beer, and Isha, I think it's kind of a no-brainer. The most likely Minnesota Wild player to indulge in the breakfast pizza, the 7 a.m., is Calen motherfucking Addison. Not only is he most likely to eat it, but I think it kind of fits his narrative really well, too, as a player. Like, anyone that's in the know loves breakfast pizzas. But if you're not sure, if you don't really know a whole lot about it or haven't dabbled much, breakfast pizzas sound kind of fucking weird, right? Like, I totally get it.
Because you're used to the red sauce. You're used to the red sauce.
That's right. Calen Addison, defenseman that really, everyone expects a defenseman to play defense. And granted, a majority of the Minnesota Wild players do not play defense. Calen Addison is definitely not a strong suit of his game, something he's got to continue working on. But when you stop and appreciate the stretch passes, how he helps move the puck up ice, the breakouts, and of course, being the quarterback of that power play,
it's like
it just hits right.
Pizza.
It just hits beautifully. It just hits beautifully. But he's the kind of guy, too, like the 7 a.m. pizza, Calen Addison's never up at 7 a.m. No fucking chance. That guy is sleeping in. He's probably one of the guys that's a big nap on game day kind of guy. But this right here, this 7 a.m. pizza, he's probably busting it out at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
And just sitting there, like, munching out, like, kind of like you get the vibe of the person that's like sitting there just like in their PJs, like eating cereal, watching TV. He's just sitting there, but he's got like a whole pizza to himself. He's just like, yeah, let's do this.
Dude, that's been me the last few weeks, honestly, with the 7 a.m.
Even if this bastard hates him, we will continue to love and support him.
Well, I mean, you said Addison goes against the grain, the traditional grain of being a defenseman, and this pizza goes against the traditional grain of having tomato sauce on a pizza, let alone having pizza for breakfast.
Oh my
Man,
God.
it hits the spot. It hits the spot.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Second beer of the IPA flight, we have Regulator, a hazy double IPA from Drastic Measures. And oh my goodness, a lot of people aren't in the know. Like, unless you're super into craft beer in Minnesota, it might not be one that you've heard of. Drastic Measures, I can tell you firsthand, absolutely slaps. So good. I've been to the tap room in a small little spot called Wadena, Minnesota, but their beers across the board, like even their sours I was getting into, which is not something I commonly say. But the Regulator here, Isha, a little bit different in color than what we had last time. The one before was more like orange juice. This one we get a little, I mean, it's still got the hazy coloring, but almost transparent-ish looking. I don't know.
Definitely clear.
But, I mean, you tell me. What are we feeling out of this one?
It's definitely different from what we just had. Less tropical. There's still a lot of sweet notes to it, but it has a little bit of a bitterness to it, which I like. Whereas the other one was more fruity, subtle, like we said, balanced. But this one has a little bit of a bite to it, especially on the aftertaste. I really like this, actually.
And see, this is how our palates are different when we're eating pizza, because I'm getting totally different vibes from this. For me, I agree with you. Not tropical, more citrus, but this one, like, way more smooth, clean finish, where, like, I don't get the mouthfeel after.
Okay, see,
And
yeah, I'm getting the bitterness after.
I'm getting more fruity out of this than I was of the other one. And again,
interesting.
That's probably just how it's coming off with the pizza for me, but, like, more fruity, less of the mouthfeel, a lot cleaner going down, and... like, I don't know. I'm still trying to decide which one I like better.
I think they're for me, they're
very different.
They're different, but they're equally as smooth. Like, I wouldn't say that one's smoother than the other.
Yeah. I mean, I think this one's smoother, but, like, that's not to say, like, I don't know. Some people think if it's not smooth, that's a bad thing. For me, like, that's not a negative, right? It's, like, I don't know. Smooth doesn't have to just be a yes or no thing for is this a good beer or not.
Oh no, for sure. Especially people who like the hoppy IPAs. Those ain't smooth, right? The super hoppy ones, those aren't smooth. But if that's your flavor, that's what you go for. But
yeah,
no, I really enjoy this. I don't know which one I like more either. I think I like them the same for different reasons. Honestly,
well, playing off. Go ahead.
I would say I think though I would probably be more inclined to drink this in the summer, whereas the other one it didn't really matter. I would drink it any time of the year.
I think I'd drink both.
I mean, I would, but this one, I think I'd feel more refreshed drinking this one in the summer. And I can't put
really, the time when people can be the most refreshed is when you'd be more refreshed?
No, like...
Brilliant. Well said.
Let me rephrase that. Something that I would want to drink while soaking in the sun. Like, something that would help me...
This one's more refreshing than the other one.
Okay,
there we
this
go.
one's more refreshing.
Now, going off the name Regulator... I think we've got a little bit of a debate here between who aligns with this next 7th Ave pizza the best.
And it's not Warren G.
Not Warren G. We are going with the Lucky 7. And to those that don't know, I'm not even going to go down the whole list. If it's a meat, it's on there. Plain and simple. All the protein you can handle. Isha, which Minnesota Wild player do you think that is most likely to be the pizza of choice for?
I think probably... the player with the most meat on him, and that would be the Moose.
Okay.
I was thinking Revo a little bit as well, but I was like, you know what? Moose, meat. It has to be Marcus Foligno.
Interesting, because we can all look back to the infamous picture that was on Ryan Reaves' Instagram, where he's literally feeding Moose his lunch. Actually, he's feeding him Lucky Sevens.
Yeah.
One after the other. So maybe you're right. Maybe Moose is like way more inclined. He's like, yeah, keep giving it to me, baby. But no, I think it's Revo 100%.
Okay.
That guy, there's no one on the team that needs more protein than that fucking maniac, that animal. And also, guy brews his own beers, you know that he's absolutely slugging as much of his 7.5 Brewing beer alongside that Lucky 7. Weird. 7. Catching a trend. Oh, weird. I guess Moose has 7 in his number too. Look at that.
Wow.
Moose and Reaves is like 2 peas. Peas and carrots. But yeah, I mean, I think those two are the gimme. The other one for me, I feel like Darby Hendrickson is a dark horse.
Oh,
because you have to be fucking loading up on that Lucky 7 protein if you're going to take those fucking assaults from Dino every time the team wins. Like, do you think that Darby, like, secretly is kind of happy when the team loses because he knows that he's not about to get his ass kicked?
Yeah. That's hilarious. I love that deep cut.
When's he going to bring a weapon? Like, one of these times he's going to fucking snap and he's just going to come straight for Dino's office and he's just going to give her.
He's just sharpening like a stick, but with like the skate sharpener as like a spear. That's what he's doing at night.
How would you use a skate sharpener to sharpen a fucking graphite stick?
I don't know. I guess my mind went to wood sticks there.
Even if it was wood, a skate sharpener?
I mean,
I'd be more inclined to use a skate after it's been sharpened.
dude, that is a badass visual right there.
Using what, Isha? What? You're going to grip it by the toque.
The toque, yes. The toque of the skate.
Not by the beanie, by the toque.
Oh, man. Well, this was incredible. And a cool can, too.
Cheers to Drastic Measures, a hopeful soon-to-be guest of the Sota Pod, but cheers to Regulator. Beer number 3 of the IPA flight. We've got Joker in the Pack, a double IPA, a collaboration between two of our good friends. That's right, we have Drekker, which of course you can tell right there by the can art. And even though they're not technically in Minnesota, we have ordained that they are technically a Minnesota brewery by proxy. They are the best. They fucking rock. And they went with a great friend of ours as well in Barrel Theory, Timmy Johnson. What a beauty. I can only imagine between the two of them. I love both of their IPAs in general. This one has to be great. Let's see how it goes with the pizza.
Oh, man.
Now, this one's got a similar tint and visual to it as what we had there with the Regulator.
It may look like the Regulators, but it tastes more like our friends from Lupulin and Falling Knife.
This one tastes the most different to me, actually.
Okay. You haven't had this one before, so run with it.
True. That is true. So for me, this one, it's just a lot. We're going to go back to our friends at Lupulin when we were on site with them. If you haven't watched the videos, go check it out right fucking now because they were incredible. Those guys are hilarious. We don't even have to do anything. We just let them kind of run. We had Marcus talking about round.
Oh,
even though he was saying round instead of sharp, right? This isn't like a super sharp flavor. Like
Marcus or Kyrie Irving, I don't know.
Like I'd almost call this like kind of a soft flavor.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like not soft like you're a baby back bitch. Like I'm saying like just like soft on the palate, like good, clean, but like it's got enough substance to it there. Like it's not overly sweet or overly bitter. It's just kind of a nice balanced combo to me. I don't know. You've had it with and without the pizza. What's the vibe you're getting here?
Balanced as hell. You get a little bit of that bitterness, but it doesn't linger. It's definitely fruity. It's an explosion of flavor. And it's funny because like when I drink this, I'm like, oh yeah, I get the Drekker vibes. And of course I get the Barrel Theory vibes as well. So like this is such like, for those who've tried both of those or who drink a lot of the beer from both of those breweries, you're going to like just taste the collaboration. You'll be like, oh yeah, there's a little bit of each of them in this. And that's what I love about it, honestly.
For me, it's funny. We got our friends, shout out Brews and Bruins podcast. They always have their rundown, right? Drinkability and tasteability. I think we're getting the drinkability factor. Like it drinks the same as a Drekker, but the tasteability, I'm getting a little bit more of like the flavor profile
of
from Barrel Theory.
For sure.
It's kind of a little bit of yin and yang, or sorry. Yeah, yin and yang.
Yeah.
People always say yin and yang.
This is like pisses me off.
That's one of the better scenes from Silicon Valley.
Oh yes.
No. It's yin and yang. No, it's yin and yang. Well, that doesn't make any sense. All right, so pizza for this beer that we're going with for 7th Ave. Again, beautiful 7th Ave. If you guys haven't had it, at this point, I don't know what more I can do to convince you because you're absolutely missing the boat unless you're some snob that's not willing to eat frozen pizza.
I'm sorry. If you're a snob, this is the highest class frozen pizza you can ever get, to the point where like I won't even order pizza anymore. Like this is it. This is the highest class pizza I'm ever going to order.
You never order Frankie's. That's never once happened.
Joe orders Frankie's.
All right, moving on.
Maybe paid for it once.
Pizza we're going with this time from 7th Ave, 5 cheeses.
Oh.
So their cheese pizza, plain Jane, Isha, which player most personifies someone that's like, yeah, I'm getting the cheese pizza?
The kid who still seems like he's living the college life in Matthew Boldy. He's such a cheese pizza guy. He's got Johnny Ham and Cheese vibes, I think, for sure. I mean, he was just posting some pictures of him partying with New Hook back in college, like as recent as like 2-3 weeks ago. And there's nothing wrong with those who appreciate a good cheese pizza, especially a 5 cheese pizza, because those are 7th Ave.
I mean, dude, it's worked out for Johnny Goudreau.
That's what I'm saying.
I want those two to sit down together and like share a cheese pizza from 7th Ave.
I mean, but the thing is, like, Boldy, he's getting like high class 5 cheese pizza, whereas you think Johnny Goudreau's eating those Mr. Beast style grilled cheese that are like $5,000 a pop. Nah, Johnny Ham and Cheese is using the craft singles, so I think Johnny Ham and Cheese, this might even be a little too fancy for him, to be honest. But again, pumping up 7th Ave, the best 5 cheeses.
If he's not buying it though, he's probably fine. Like,
yeah. But no, yeah, Boldy fits this mold perfectly. And it's not a reflection of his play because he's nasty. There's a lot to his play. There's a lot of toppings to his play. But it just seems like he's not a complex guy. It's like
he's a super simple dude.
Fuel me with the simple good shit and I will perform regardless. And yeah, I can just imagine that's his order.
Well, hey, cheers to Drekker.
Yes.
Cheers to Barrel Theory.
Cheers to
cheers
Boldy.
to good IPAs. Cheers to Boldy. And of course, cheers to 7th Avenue Pizza and their cheese pizza. I actually think a wild card in this too. I think Kirill Kaprizov would be a cheese pizza guy for a completely different reason. Completely different reason.
I love your reasoning.
Not because he's just like a vanilla, like ordinary guy.
Far from.
I think he's got some of the weirdest topping cravings that like none of us know about. It's not even a Russian thing. It's more like he's just like got wacky cravings for what he wants on his pizza.
It's a Siberia thing. And
he's going with what I've been promoting now for months. The cheese pizza is the build your own pizza.
100%.
Get a cheese pizza, throw whatever fucking toppings you want on it, and go. My real question is, what the fuck's that sick bastard gonna put on it?
So whatever the hell he hunts in those summers in Russia,
dude, he's just lining it with hundreds.
Probably
dollar bills.
Or no, edible gold.
He just gets the flakes from Goldschlick.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That or it's like some crazy preserved meat, like that's literally all winter has been frozen, like in his underground freezer up there in Siberia, or some crazy ass fish that he smoked and put it on it as well. Which honestly, smoked salmon, and again, this is the West Coast talking, on a 5 cheese pizza. Oh my god, to die for, dude, to die for.
Pass.
Next.
Numero Quattro of the IPA flight. We've got Juice Tree, a tasty little number that is a New England double IPA. Beautiful can art. Definitely was not an inspiration for our beautiful background work on all of our video content. No. Never, ever would we get a good idea from someone else. It's actually beautiful. I think Portage has incredible cans.
Consistent. That's what I love about it.
Portage is just a wonderful brewery. You guys have heard me talk about it before, unless you're new here.
On the way to the cabin.
Listen up. No, it's just past the cabin.
Oh.
Up in, right by Leech Lake, which is fucking massive, by the way. But Portage Brewing, really cool tap room vibe, really good beers across the board. You know, my only not complaint, but thing that's a bummer is like their beer is so good and they get such good traffic in there, especially in the summer, that shit goes so fast. And sometimes they're like short shifted with which beers are on, because I show up and I'm like, oh man, all the really good ones just got crushed. Shit. But you show up on the right day, dude, I'd put them neck and neck with the majority of Minnesota breweries. They're awesome.
They give me Salt Spring Brewing vibes, and I don't know if did I send you a Salt Spring Brewing beer? I don't know if I did, but anyways,
Don't think so.
Back home, Vancouver Island, the two staples are Salt Spring. The niche staples, I should say, for like the hipsters, the beer aficionados like Hoppy and myself are Tofino and Salt Spring. And again, I haven't been to the tap room yet at Portage, but it definitely gives me those Salt Spring Brewing vibes.
I'm getting like an in-between from all of the beers we've been through today. Like, this is not the like most orange juicy. It's definitely not the most like clear-ish. Like, it's obviously got a little haze to it, but stands out alone.
Wow.
Going in parallel with the name, Juice Tree is a juicy motherfucker.
It is juicy to the max, dude. Wow.
Bit of a juice bomb in the best way possible. So again, for those of you that aren't as big on the juicy, fruity flavors, maybe it's not as much your vibe, but I do think that, like, I don't know, again, having it side by side with pizzas this whole time, like, this really isn't
changes things
like,
a bit.
It's not a big deal either. Like, I haven't had a single one of these and been like, this doesn't work with pizza. Because I have had beers where it's like, you know what? I love this beer, but I shouldn't have ordered it alongside my pizza.
Yeah.
Like, you either have it before or you like wait until way later and have it for your dessert. But like, all of these have vibed great with pizza. And I mean, maybe the cheat code is that they've all been 7th Ave pizza, but hey, we'll figure it out. Enjoying now the delightful, delectable meat sauce pizza, which you all know is just incredible.
I'm wailing.
It is so good. It wails. It definitely wails. Thank you, meat sauce, of course. Those that don't know, by the way, the real difference between that and a standard pepperoni and sausage, there's something about those meatballs that's like softer, more airy to it, but it's still got a good flavor. It's not going to have the same spice as a sausage necessarily, but
that's
it's like
it. That's the biggest difference.
No,
it doesn't
I
have
don't
that
think it's
spice.
the biggest difference. I
Really?
think the bigger difference is the consistency of it. I think sausage is usually a lot more like
chewier,
tougher, even like not tough because like it's not steak, right? But
chewier,
like kind of chewier. It's like it's almost more like it's a lot more like it's not fried, but like there's just like more to it that it's like hardened. It's not.
There's less fat in it. It's chewier.
But the meatball, it's just more airier. It's softer, and it's just like goes down so perfect. Because right away, my thought was like, so it's sausage and pepperoni. No, it's not. No,
not even close. Not even close. It's a completely different type of pizza. I agree with everything you said there. Look, 7th Ave, they're not going to gyp you. They go generous with the amount of meatballs that they put on this pizza. Oh my goodness! Like. Every slice, you're getting a few. Even if you're going squares, you psychos who go squares. But anyways.
Now, the player in the Minnesota Wild organization that is most inclined to be a big fan of this, I'm going to take you guys on a little journey here. This one's a little bit more abstract. Imagine you're a kid, grows up, born and raised Minnesota boy. You live in Edina. You're given cake. It's served to you at your front door on a daily basis, which, I mean, hey, who as a kid isn't going to love that? As an adult, it's probably a questionable decision, especially with the high rate of diabetes in this country. But aside from the point, you're a snob, right? You're in Edina. You're a snob. You're probably only willing to eat Pizzeria Lola, maybe Hello Pizza on occasion. And you're not even going to fucking touch a frozen pizza.
Oh, no. If it's sold at Lund's in the frozen section, you ain't touching it.
But you've never left the Midwest. In fact, you've been in Minnesota your entire life up until recently having some bouts back in Iowa. You played for Edina. You played for the Gophers. You captained the Gophers. And now you're in the Minnesota Wild system. Good chance that you are probably a big fan of K-Fan. and you are absolutely going to give your first shot, your one and only try on a frozen pizza, to the one that Meat Sauce says you need to eat because it fucking wails. Sammy Walker, step right up. You are the most likely to be the Meat Sauce Pizza super fan for 7th Avenue Pizza. And guess what? He's probably not going to venture any further. He's not going to try any other styles. He's definitely not going to try any other brands, but he will eat the Meat Sauce Pizza whenever he fucking can.
That is the best player to choose for that one. And like, what else is there to say? What else is there to say? Now, we're big Sammy Walker fans here on the podcast, and I'm going to say this, and I have to give some context to it. It's not that we don't think Marco Rossi, doesn't deserve.
Jesus Christ, this is going to be a long one.
A call up to the Minnesota Wild. Listen to the last Judd's Buds episode. Hell, listen to Judd's Buds when I was on the show as well, like 3 or 4 weeks back now. Hell, even you're watching this on YouTube right now. Go check out some of the other videos. We've talked about that so much here. You know our opinions. Sammy Walker right now is the most deserving based on we don't really have to worry about his development. Rossi, there were some issues at the beginning of the season, and the guy's having a hell of a season. Why not give him a look right now? That's my opinion. We're on the Sammy Walker. Let's get called up to the Wild right now.
Oh, and guess what? Matty Cheese Pizza is a big fan of having Sammy Walker on his line.
He loves him.
Like, what more reason? Oh,
instant chemistry.
Guess what? You gave the kid with no flavor palette a 7x7, and things haven't been the best since then. Bring up the guy that he was happy playing with again. Why not? Why not bring up Sammy Walker? And who knows? Maybe he can even introduce a little bit of flavor into Matt Boldy's life with the Meat Sauce Pizza.
Maybe Matt Boldy even shares his cheese pizza with him.
Sammy would never.
Sammy would be like, you fucking peasant.
But biggest shout out.
Where did you go to school? Boom. Boston?
Shout out Portage Brewing. We so badly want to get in touch.
Can't wait.
Record some stuff on site because we will be up at the cabin a lot this summer. Great beer. Great pizza, of course, with the Meat Sauce Pizza. Shout out K-Fan for how awesome they've been in working with 7th Avenue Pizza, bringing it into everyone's lives because God knows we do everything we can. Our reach just is not that of K-Fan. It's not possible. If we're ever even a fraction of what they do, we've done real great things.
We're rolling in it at that point.
But great pizza. Sammy Walker, we want him up with the Wild, at least for a stint here at the end of the year to see, hey, does this guy have a shot next year of being up with the big boys?
Dude, look, Zuccarello, a great player. Did we ever think he was going to be Kaprizov's guy? Dude, I would have never predicted that. I would have never predicted that. Smaller level, Sammy Walker, give him more of a chance with Boldy. Maybe he becomes his guy.
I'm as straight as they come, but you look at that sexy motherfucker, Zuccarello, you knew that Kaprizov would be swooning. There's no way.
Oh, man. Well, swooning, but wanting to develop the chemistry with him, that's another story.
He hung out,
put it this way.
He hung out with Zuccarello and his family during the All-Star break.
I swoon over a lot of people. It doesn't mean I have chemistry with them.
You find chemistry.
Kaprizov is basically, the Zuccarello's kid's uncle at this point. That one video of his kid looking at Kaprizov, just like he was family. Ugh. Unbelievable. But again, cheers, man. These are unbelievable beers.
Cheers to all of the beers. That's right. Run it down again. We had a collaboration between Falling Knife and Lupulin. We had Drastic Measures. We had another collaboration between Drekker and Barrel Theory. And we finished it all off here with Portage. Tune in for our next one. We'd love to see in the comments which beer style you want us to hit next. If there's a brewery that we haven't brought in that you feel like we're disrespecting, tell us. We will, more than likely, follow suit with whatever you guys request.
And if you guys want us to do a flight of beers outside of the state, let us know as well. Send them our way. Get in touch with us at the Sota Pod. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next flight.